Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. The Chaos Rhino is a dedicated transport to take Chaos Space Marines across the harsh landscapes of the 40k universe. Adorned with a rack of gruesome trophies, it's a well-needed vehicle in games of 40k. Now in this guide I'm focusing on the red Corsairs. I'm taking a very simple, easy paint scheme that gets this Rhino painted in around about half a day. It's really simple and effective. So grab your paints and your brushes and let's get hobbying. And we're beginning with the Chaos Rhino. This is going to be for the red Corsairs. Nice and simple. At the beginning, I always like to start with just the ground basics of how I've prepped this model. So it is completely fully assembled, how I want it to be. Obviously, you can add as many trinkets as you want. I'm sticking with the box art for the red Corsairs. Nice and simple. Bit chaosy, not too much chaos. Now let's talk the primer. I am going to be contrast painting. However, I want it red. It's predominantly red, so we're going to save a lot of time by priming it red. Obviously, what you're seeing here is not red at all. I'm going to spray Mephiston Red. We'll go through that in a second. Mephiston Red is not a primer in that sense. It is purely spray paint. It does not adhere well to bare plastic. So we need to prime it in something that it can stick to. Now, I'm going with Games Workshop's very own Chaos Black. Nice and simple, give it a good shake, spray it all over. You're going to get little sections like this on the tracks where it just pulls away whatever surfaces stand on. It's just inevitable the way these models are designed because there is no base. However, you're not going to see the tracks underneath when you've got it on the tabletop or in your cabinet, so that's not going to make a difference anyway. So, to begin with, give it an all-over spray of black. This is going to do two things. Like I said, the Mephiston Red will adhere and stick to the model perfectly. And equally, in the recesses where you don't get the Mephiston Red, it's going to act as a very subtle shade. So, get that done. Put this to the side. Give it a good half an hour to dry before applying the next step. It just means this is settled and the red will settle nicely too. So, if you're copying along, get that done. We'll move on to the next step. Next up for our red Corsairs Rhino, we're going to make life a lot easier. So we primed it black. Now, like I mentioned, we're priming it red. I'm using Games Workshop's Mephiston Red here. Now, this spray can is not a primer in a normal sense. This is why I said it needs that black to begin with, and then it adheres really well, as you can see. And we've got an absolutely solid, perfect red. And the majority of our work for the base coat is practically done, which is awesome. Now, things to note, on the can it gives you the instructions. Give it a good shake, like you can see there, for about 2 minutes. Ignore that instruction. Give it a good shake for 10 minutes. Red is notoriously thick. Whether you're painting it by hand or spraying it, it is a very thick colour. So, give it a real good shake. Make sure it's really ready to prime. And then just spray a little section at a time. Let it completely dry. Give it a couple of coats until you've got this real perfect solid red. Get that done, let it dry, and when I say let it dry, give it a good hour and a bit just to completely settle before applying paint on it, just so it makes sure that it all adheres and sticks to properly. So get that done and we'll move on to the next step. And we're beginning with the first colour. I do recommend 2 thin coats here just to get a nice even layer. But the colour here is Black Legion, so 1 coat should be enough. But again, I just recommend 2, just keep things nice and smooth and consistent. So, we're literally just marking out the armour panels that aren't red at this stage. Front, as you can see, slightly going down the sides there. Back, going up to that section there, and that section there. And I want to show you this, and this is why you need 2 coats. Just the way it pulls sometimes away from the outer edge because of the way the model is designed. I haven't applied a second coat there yet, and that's just to show you my reason why. 2 thin coats, you'll get a solid black like this. So get that done, we'll move on to the next step. So to begin with, we're taking Drakenhof Nightshade, and this is going to be a recess shade all over our red details. Now if you're not sure what a recess shade is, I'll explain it very briefly. Take this rectangle for instance, I'm taking Drakenhof Nightshade, I'm applying it into that recess, nowhere else. It's as simple as that. We want the red, that Mephiston Red spray, to remain as the primary base coat colour. So it takes a lot of time, but Drakenhof Nightshade for me is a much better paint than Nulnor. After all, it's a lot darker, but equally, being a dark, vivid, that real dark, intense blue is a perfect contrast against this rich, royal red. I've also used the Drakenhof Nightshade just to go over the Black Legion, just sealing the paint down because it's a shade paint, and like Lahmium Medium being a shade paint, it can seal transfers down. It will just seal a bit of that paint down too, just prevent a little bit of chipping. Not 100% guarantee, but it does help. So take your time, because you're going to have to get that done, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to dry brush and highlight all of our details so far. So we've got red, we've got black, two colours. Starting in the red, I've used a medium-sized dry brush and I've taken Lugganath Orange. It's quite bright, so just really work the paint into the bristles and just gently dry brush as many of the edges as you can, and it's pretty easy to reach every single edge. Take your time. I've gone over just a second time just to get a real vivid, sort of strong colour line. As you can see, it's subtle in that sense and it just stands out really nicely. For the black details, I've gone to a small dry brush because we've literally got here, mirrored on that side, and then just the edge highlight here. I've just very gently dry brushed there to create a sort of little highlight. Same on this side. The colour here, matching the rest of my army, is grey Seer. Nice and simple. Get that done. The red armour, essentially it's complete. The black armour is complete. And we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to base coat all of our silver details. The colour here is Iron Warriors. Nice and simple. It pretty much is self-explanatory and speaks for itself. I'll give you a little 360. Now, not all of this is going to be silver. However, Iron Warriors, as a base coat, just allows other metallic paints, which you would need 2, maybe even 3 thin coats to get a nice solid layer. It allows you just to do 1, and that's enough. So that's why it's just easier and quicker to base coat it in Iron Warriors. Now, I've gone straight ahead and shaded it all. The colour here is Drakenhof Nightshade. One of the things I recommend is you do the tracks first. When you base coat in a metallic, these become extremely sticky, even when they're dry. Essentially, when you've got it face down, on a surface, it's going to stick and it's going to pull away. You're going to get that kind of effect where the paint rips off, and you don't really want that. Not that you're going to notice like that when it comes to games and stuff, or even in a display cabinet. You cannot physically see that unless you pick it up, and other people aren't going to notice because they shouldn't be picking up your models anyway. But what it will do is it will matte it down. It's not going to be 100% protection. It just makes it less sticky, so less paint is going to pull off. So, using the Drakenhof Nightshade, I've done all of the details, even the ones that aren't going to be silver anyway. Gets it all done and out of the way. So, let that dry, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to base coat and shade our remaining metallic details, starting with Retributor Armour. Now, if you've copied the way I built it, nice and simple, you've got the Chaos symbol up here, skulls on this sort of spike impaling device here, skulls on top of the Havoc launcher, and then you've got this gold trim. Goes down the sides, and I'm not going to lie, you're not going to get to the underneath part if you've got it, positioned like this. Whereas this part, you can absolutely get to the underneath part. You can't see the underneath part of this, so don't even worry or bother about trying. So get all of that base coated, let it dry. Then when you look at the box art, the Havoc launcher itself, these missiles, they've got a different bronze metallic colour to the actual basing. So the colour that's closest matching is Warplock Bronze. With the Iron Warriors that's already in place, you only need 1 base coat of this. So get that done. Let all of those details dry, and then for our gold and our bronze, a simple shade of Reikland Fleshshade. Get all of that done, let it dry, and then we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to apply a very cheeky dry brush over all of our metallic details and finish them off. The colour here is Stormhost Silver, so dry brushing over all the silver, the gold and the bronze, finishing it all off in one fell swoop. So I've used a medium-sized dry brush. Just take your time, get it all done. I'm also adding a few contrast paints afterwards, just to enhance some of those details. They are going to dry matte, but we'll gloss varnish those later on when we apply the transfers. So to begin with, taking Frostheart, this is over these 3 pieces here. Then taking Imperial Fist to provide a bit of yellow. I'm taking quite a heavy amount, not letting it pull excessively so it goes over the edges, but enough to cover each of the lenses of the bulbs that you see here, as you can see. It's going to dry a little bit dark and a little bit matte once it's done, but it's in place and a gloss varnish will once again pick it out. Finally, to show a bit of brutality, because it is chaos after all, we've got all these impaling bits at the front here. I've taken blood for the blood god. With this style of paint, I'm stippling it on. However, you apply as little or as much as you want. I've gone quite heavy. I want to show the brutality of the red Corsairs. So, get that done, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to relayer all of those little trophies so to speak, for the red Corsairs on the model. I'm also picking out the missiles too, so they're a nice bright colour. So for this relayer, we're creating a simple mix. Take Corax White, 1 part of this, mix it with 1 part of White Scar, which is pretty much going to be almost a White Scar relayer, but as a base coat rather than a layer paint. And to help with the flow, I've added 1 part of Lahmium Medium. You're going to need 2 thin base coats for a real solid relayer. Nice and simple, get that done, and then we can do some contrast painting. Next up, we're going to base coat those little trophy details. So, I'm going with Ultramarines. We'll start there first. Nice and simple, an Ultramarine helmet is absolutely perfect for the red Corsairs. After all, blue, being the opposite of red, makes a perfect contrasting colour. I'm going to be doing my reverse edge highlight technique. Essentially, if you're unaware of what that means, we'll be building up from light to dark like you normally would. However, in the last layer, we'll just paint up to the edges, not including the edges, meaning these bright blues become the automatic edge highlight. It will make sense as we go along. To begin with, take Asurmen Blue. We're not filling it down, just base coat it over the entirety of the helmet except the eyes. For the eyes, wait till that's dry, and just simply take a small amount of Blood Angel's Red and fill in the lenses. There are metallic details to do. At this stage, we can just paint straight over them. Moving on from that, if you've got skulls on the trophy racks, nice and simple, skeleton horde, nothing else to it. Then, if you've got a victim, like over here, a nice humanoid head, we can paint any flesh tone we like. Here, I've just gone simple with Guilliman Flesh. Get all of that done, let it dry, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going on to the next step for all of these trinkets. First of all, we're doing an edge highlight. We're taking Wraithbone, and this is for all of our skulls. A nice, simple, classic edge highlight, picking out just the ridges around the eye sockets, the nose, even a bit of the teeth. With that, the skulls are done. Once the head is dry, I've taken Berserker Bloodshade, just a nice small amount, and painted it all over the flesh, just to give it a more gruesome vibe. Moving on, once the Ultramarine helmet is dry, we are taking Talassar Blue, and this is to enhance the Asurmen Blue, which is now the underlayer. So, paint it straight over, obviously avoiding the eye lenses. What this becomes is our automatic edge highlight colour. So the next step, we'll be painting up to the edge, not including the edge, and the Ultramarine helmet will be completely highlighted. Next up, we're going to finish off these details entirely. To begin with, for our head victim here, I've taken Flayed One Flesh, and this is a very subtle edge highlight. We don't want to go too intense, being such a bright colour, but it really helps pick out those sharpest features. In addition, focusing on the head still, it does have eyes, so I've picked them out in White Scar, and then a smaller spot highlight in the centre of Abaddon Black, just to dot the pupils. Moving on from that, I'm finishing off the missiles. Now, there's plenty of ways you could go about doing these. However, I want to introduce a little bit more yellow to the model. Helps create a triadic colour scheme. After all, the majority is red. It just creates more interesting details that the eye can pick out. So I'm going back to Imperial Fist. I was taking the smallest amount on a small airbrush and just dotting the tips of each missile, as you can see. Moving on from that, we're going to focus next on our Space Marine helmet. The Space Marine helmet is nice and simple. To finish it off, we're taking Ultramarines Blue in its purest form. Easier to show you at this angle here. For instance, this top part of the helmet, we're painting it down the very central part, but not onto the edges, meaning that previous blue, which is now the Asurmen and the Talassar, becomes the automatic edge highlight colour. So use a small airbrush and you get to control exactly where the edge highlights are. It's pretty battle damaged anyway, so it's got a really awesome look. Obviously, once that's done, we need to pick out the silver details, and I'm just using Iron Hand Steel here. Different silver, makes it nice and bright, it just picks out those details nicely. With that done, the model is complete. However, we've got some Ardcoat gloss varnish to do, as well as applying the transfers, which I'm going to do next. Next up, we're taking Ardcoat. Now in its purest form, I'm going over the lenses of the lights here, as well as on our Frostheart. Makes it nice and shiny. I've also done the Space Marine lenses too. So let that dry. That finishes off those details and gives it some natural light. But as you can see, I've applied it on different surfaces of the model. This is where I'm prepping where the transfers are going to go. So once again, we're taking Ardcoat. However, I have thinned this down ever so slightly. There's no real ratio here. It's just a drop or two of Lahmium Medium just to help create a nice smooth surface area. After all, if we apply it in its purest form, it might get streaky. We don't want to affect the overall look of the model. So the areas I'm going for here, as you can see, mirrored on the other side. On this side, I've got the whole door, not this one because there's not any area really you could fit it in. And I'm going to do here. And what I have realised, I haven't done it quite yet, but I'm going to do the back here as well. So get that done if you're copying along, or you can apply transfers whichever way works for you. Transfers applied. I've used all the ones from the red Corsair's transfer sheet. Nice and simple. Once they're applied, I've sealed them down with 2 layers of Stormshield. So apply the first layer, let that completely dry, apply a second layer. Just make sure you've got a nice thin amount. You don't want streaky lines. Now, one of the things to mention, a lot of the red Corsair's transfers are rather thin. They do tend to split. However, you can create unique and your own designs with that. So, just something to be aware of. In addition, when you've got big skulls like this, why not apply a second transfer on top of the head? So, get all of that done, as little as much as you want, and our model is complete. And there we have it. My red Corsair's Rhino transport is complete. Simple, quick, effective paint job. Absolutely love it. Now, if this guide has helped and inspired you, then please do give it that all-important like. Share it too. Sharing helps the Warhammer community. This isn't a fame-hungry channel. This is a channel where the guides exist to help you. And if you haven't done so, consider subscribing. That's what helps the channel grow, and the more it grows, the more I get to continue supporting you, the awesome Warhammer community. So, until that next video, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.